My top 20 favorite fighters in the UFC. This is the second time I'm recording this video, as I recorded it yesterday, and the recording failed to save to my phone. But I'm glad because I've had time since then to revise my list. And I've changed it quite a bit. Now, number 20 through number 11. This was originally going to be a top 10 list, so number 20 through number 11 are all on one page. Or one slide. The next UFC title fight to make in every division. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll copy that video idea. Number 20, Manuel Torres, man. Manuel Torres, very exciting, very fun prospect. You know, we all saw what he did to my boy, Drew Dober. Drew Dober's not on this list, but if this is top 25, Drew Dober would probably be on it. Anyways, Manuel Torres, I love Manuel Torres, man. He's a great prospect. A lot of unranked lightweights are just really fun. There's a lot of fun unranked lightweights that are outside the ranking, that are like right outside the rankings. And yeah, he's one of my favorites. One of my favorite fighters, and definitely one of my favorite fighters at lightweight. A lot of fun. I really hope that it'll be ranked someday. And he's got good wins, good finishes. He's just really good himself. I think he's bound for the rankings. And I love prospects. I love guys that I see a lot of potential in. And Manuel Torres, I think he's really going to be something, man. Number 19, Shamil the Blob. Shamil Mealdil Gaziev. Shamil the Blob Gaziev. He goes by many names. He also goes by, good burger, good chicken, good fighter. Right? You guys see that interview? Where the guy was asking him what he thought about different fighters, and he's like, good grappler, good striker, not good grappling, but good fighter. He's saying stuff like that. It was really wholesome. He's a very wholesome guy. He's one of the best blobs that we got. He got killed by the king of the blobs yesterday. That was very unfortunate. Where's Waldo starched him. It was very hard to watch. It's hard to watch, but it was also funny. It's hard to watch, but also funny. Like, no one's gonna make you laugh like watching Shamil Gaziev have a UFC fight. He's the funniest UFC fighter in terms of watching him fight. He's just funny to watch, and he's fun to watch. And he's very exciting. Win or lose, something crazy is gonna happen when Shamil fights. And, it's gonna be worth talking about. And, I love a fighter that's memorable, and Shamil's a very memorable fighter. Shamil Gaziev fight happens. You remember that. Because it's absolutely hilarious. Number 18, my favorite autism-ridden fighter in the UFC, Gene Silva. Oh my gosh. Not only do I think he's severely autistic, I think that he fights with his autism as well. When they say he's autistic, I'm serious. Really think he is. All the patterns I see, when I'm watching him in his interviews and post-fight speeches, the way he gets emotional and stuff, it's just he's got something going on. I feel like he's got the tism, right? And he'll excessively, when he was doing the whole folk Bryce Mitchell, he was just a broken record to that point where it's he's not normal, I just think he's got. I think he's got the tism, but I also think he's great, and I think he's really fun to listen to, really fun to watch, and he's so talented. Oh my gosh, and he just goes for it. But man, if he stops fighting with his emotion, dude, he's already a scary guy to deal with, but I really think that he can challenge for a title one day if he just fucking stays focused. If he gets told to stay focused, but at the same time, him not staying focused is really fun against Diego Lopez. I'll talk more about that later. But yeah, I love Gene Silva. He's a blast. Fighting nerds in general, they're fun. Two in particular, Gene Silva and another guy I'll get to later on. But yeah, I like Gene Silva. He's great. Number 17. I beat the Bronx. I beat the champion. Charles Oliveira. The champion has a name, and it's Charles Oliveira, brother. When he says, champion has a name is Charles Oliveira, I find it very funny when he says that, because, he's obviously never going to be the champion. But he's not saying that, in a salty way or anything. Charles isn't really a salty guy. He's a really pure and wholesome fellow. He really is, man. And he's always, shaking his hand. He's always shaking hands with his opponent's corners right before the fight. All this respect and giving his opponents big old hugs. And he's cutting weight in the sauna with Ilya Taporia. And even Ilya, he likes to talk trash, He doesn't get personal, but, he likes competitive trash talk. And guy said just a little bit, had some fun in the build-up. But he goes, I just can't with Charles. He's just too nice. I can't. How can I hate this guy? But when Charles fights, it is straight fireworks. He's got this nice personality, and then he gets in the cage, and he's not nice. It's someone's gonna get brutally finished, whether it's him or the other guy. Something crazy gonna happen. And even, last decision he had, Arman Tsarukyan fight, that was still a great fight to watch. Great grappling fight. Lots of good stuff in that fight. But yeah, Charles, he's just great to watch. Great to watch. He's got the most finishes in UFC history, And I'd say he's one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. He's very, he's super exciting on the feet and on the ground. And he's just great. There's a lot to like about him. He's he'll take big risks, but he won't take big risks in a way that's low IQ. He won't take Chandler big risks, you know what I mean? He'll take risks in a way that makes sense. And it's not oh, why are you doing that? You're dumb. It's oh yeah, this guy's a warrior. Right? There's a difference. There's Charles risks and then there's dumb Chandler risks. And I like the Charles risks. Love Charles Oliveira. Number 16. Where's this guy? Mateus Rebecki, my favorite Polish man in the UFC. Mateus Rebecki, I love Mateus Rebecki. You guys saw the Orlov fight, right? You guys probably saw the Duncan fight. You guys probably saw the Ludovic Klein fight. You know what I'm getting at. And he was robbed of a draw in the Klein fight. He really was. I really do think that. I think that he was robbed of a draw. Dude, if that's not a 10, if round 3 wasn't a 10-8 round, then what's a 10-8 round? In my opinion, if you're limping like that on your leg, if you can't walk after a UFC fight like that and the other guy's fine and he's still able to move about and doesn't have to go to the hospital immediately afterwards. Gets to go home that night probably. Meanwhile, you're probably, you can't even stand right now. You got to get your leg checked out. Man, it's damage Rebecki caused. It's damage that was caused in the fight, meaning it's damage caused by the opponent. And I just don't get how Ludovic Klein, how they didn't give Rebecki a 10-8 round in round 3. It should have been a 28-28 draw. It's stupid that the majority of the judges called it a 10-9. It's despicable and disgraceful. It angered me to my core. Anyways, I love Mateus Rebecki. Incredibly exciting. Always goes for it. He's good. He is pretty good. He technically went to a draw. Ludovic Klein, he is pretty good. But he's also getting chinned by Carlos Diego Ferreira, and I don't know how good he is. It kind of changes. I don't know, your thought process and how good he is kind of changes for me at least. It's he's losing to Carlos Diego Ferreira, he's losing to Chris Duncan. but like he's beating Orobai and going to draws with Ludovic. It's very confusing. It's very confusing. But I mean, at the same time, there's outside the rankings lightweights. It's tough comp. And a lot of those guys are really close in terms of how good they are. Styles make fights and all that. But anyways, I love Rebecca. I love Rebecca. He's got a cool vibe to him too. Cool vibe. I like Polish fighters. Bringing a good energy and yeah, super exciting. Very fun to watch. A lot of these guys I just really like to watch. Speaking of liking to watch Orobai, I do. Come on, look at this guy. How is he not? How can you not have him in your top 20 favorite fighters list? How can you not? Look at this guy. Look at the hat. Come on. We got Genghis Khan over here. Look at this guy. No. Sorry, no, not Genghis Khan. He's not Shafkat. He's a caveman. We got the caveman over here. Caveman. He's a caveman. He's a lawyer. He's he's a fighter. He's everything, man. He discovered fire, and he discovered that if you touch Jack Hermanson on the chin, he'll die because his chin's expired and Hermanson's old and moved down a weight class for... Anyway, I already ranted about that. I don't need to rant about that, but poor Hermanson, man. Kind of his own fault, though. But, yeah, Orobai's great. He chinned Hermanson. He had that great fight with Mateus Rebecca, right? But why do I like him more than Mateus Rebecca? They're both very exciting. The thing about Orobai, though, he's a better finisher. He's a better finisher. Gets more finishes. I love finishes. So he's exciting fights plus finishes. And on top of the finishes, he is able to exude more... I don't want to say aura, but more of a likable vibe. Got a wholesomeness to him. You know what I mean? He's got the whole, he's a lawyer thing going on, better call Orobai. And that's just nice, and he's got the hat thing, and I don't want to call it persona, but his personality and, his style, I just really like it. And he's just, a likable, seems like a likable feller. He's a likable fighter. I love Orobai. I hope he continues to improve. And I really want him to be ranked, man. I really want him to be a ranked fighter up there at welterweight. Moving on to number 13, Charles Jourdain. When we talk about scrappy scrapsmen, when we talk about guys that aren't that good, but damn, are they fun to watch. Charles Jourdain comes to mind when you're thinking about those guys. And he is my favorite one of those guys. Is Charles going to be shit? No. No, not really. Is he ever going to be ranked? No. He's not. But is he going to put on, just incredibly impressive and exciting performances? Yes. Is he going to surprise you with how exciting he can be sometimes? Yes. I'm not going to lie, I was picking Davey Grant. Decision. But Charles Jourdain, knocking down with a flying knee and subbed him. Man, you probably all seen the clip of him, doing that Spartan kick and yelling, dude, the yelling, the sticking the tongue out, whatever, doing all that, the celebrations. You just have a bunch of fun in the cage, and it adds to me having fun watching him. He's just super exciting, really likable guy, and he's got a really good Instagram. He makes good posts on Instagram. I like him. I like him a lot. Charles Jourdain, my 13th favorite fighter on the roster. Number 12. Where'd he go? Hamza Abu Shamaev, my Muslim brother. Amazing fighter. Kind of a generational talent, you could say. A lot of people would agree with that. Last fight, boring? Yeah, but usually first round finish. Absolute war with Gilbert Burns. But he makes some dumb calls in there. And then, all those dumb calls, I expected Drickus to, take the opportunity. I thought, Hamza was going to do some of the same dumb stuff. But no, Hamza improved, his entire game when he fought Drickus. May not improve his entire game, but he changed his game plan. He changed the way he thought about the fight during the fight, if that makes sense. Like, his thought process, at least from what I'm able to see as a viewer, looks like it was completely different. His game plan was completely different. He fought a completely different way. He's willing to make improvements. He's willing to change his fight style and adapt. And I find that impressive, and I like that. Even though that fight itself wasn't entertaining, I like the idea behind it. I guess you could say the philosophy behind it. And also like Hamzat as a person. He's great. He's a great guy. Great guy. Seems like a really good man. I've seen him, there's like emotional reactions with him talking to like kids who lost their families online and stuff, and I don't know, a lot of good wholesome stuff. He's a father. He's unintentionally a sellout for a Chechen warlord, but that's not really his fault. Anyways, yeah, I love Hamzat. I think he's great. His interviews are great. He's got some of the best broken English in the game. Yeah, but I just kill this guy. I kill this guy. Yeah. There are some times where it's like he does act a little childish, not as much anymore. But recently he did that thing with Ian Gary. He pushed Ian Gary for what? Ian Gary was kind of, I guess, sucking up to him and being overly nice. And then he pushed him for it. And then said, "Fuck you, bitch," or something like that, right? I don't like that. But for the most part, Hamzat's great. I love Hamzat. But my favorite middleweight currently in the UFC is Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, man. Anthony Hernandez. I love Fluffy, dude. Dude, Hernandez, he's great. I love everything about him, man. He's got really cool vibes, man. He's really cool. He just seems like a really chill unk. That's what he seems like. Really chill, like unk. He's got some zestiness to him. Just a little bit. The fucking earrings and shit. He's got that weird shit going on. But the weird factor also adds to his cool factor when he fights. Not the earring stuff, but like the weird factor he has, makes him cool in the fights. Like, oh, look at this weird motherfucker just smiling out here as he's getting punched with Delidzy's hardest shots. This dude has a chin made out of Egyptian pyramid stone, right? And he's got crazy cardio. And I like guys with good cardio. I like seeing guys, coming back later in the fight. And I also like guys that are just, really dominant in their competition and fun while they're doing it. And that's what that's how Hernandez is a lot of times. The Lidzy fight was amazing. The way he just dragged him to that standing RNC and was like, "Where's my belt?" As he was doing that, the emote. That was dope. Oh, I love him. I think he'd be a great champ. I think he would be the best champ for the division. He'd be the most fun champion for sure. But does he beat Hamzat? I don't know. But he's the one guy that I think could do it. Hernandez versus Hamzat is a fight I want to see. Hernandez, I know he had some sort of injury. I hope he heals up, and I hope he earns that title shot. Because, Hamzat's, we know he's going to clean up shop against Nasruddin. And whenever, June, jeez, because Hamzat, I guess, broke his foot or hand or something. Anyways, yeah, Fluffy should fight someone in the meantime. I don't know who. Anyone is choosing in the top 5, I guess. Strickland will need to fight soon, I suppose. Why not? Fight Strickland in February. Sounds good to me. Moving on to my top 10. Kyoji Horiguchi. Man. I love this guy. People forget, man, this is one of Demetrius Johnson's most impressive wins. Right? This guy's only lost twice, really. He only has 2 real losses. in his prime. Why do I say only 2 real losses? Because he lost to DJ, Patchy Mix, Kaya Sakura, and Sergio Pettis. He got Sergio Pettis back, so that cancels out. He got Kaya Sakura back. He knocked so that cancels out. Right after Kaya Sakura, beat him by knockout, he knocked out Kaya Sakura right after that. And Sergio KO'd him, then he beat Sergio. And then Patchy Mix, that was a prime Patchy Mix. That wasn't C3PO. That wasn't C3PO that we saw that we see in the UFC today. Right? Getting robbed by random prospects and getting beat up by Mario Batisto. Right? Patchy Mix used to be something. It's not like, oh, well, Patchy Mix is bad. This proves that UFC is the best. Of course UFC is the best. Of course it's way better. But it's like Patchy is genuinely watched. Like, you go back and watch his fights, he's doing things differently. He looks cleaner. He looks sharper. It's not like, because it's against better comp. No, the things he is doing things differently. He is fighting a different way. He is fighting a better way. He looks more athletic. He looks more skilled, and this and that. He looks fresher. He looks like he actually wants to be there, and he's imposing his will. He's like a different fighter now. He's just washed, and it's sad. But he used to be really good, and he beat Kyoji Horiguchi, which proves it. And Kyoji, his 2 real losses are, in his prime, are freaking prime Patchy Mix in 2022, and 2015 champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson by armbar. Right. And the thing is, this guy's 9-1 in the UFC. His only real loss in the UFC is Demetrius Johnson, right? And Patchy Mix. The thing about Patchy Mix is that, like, Patchy's a bantamweight, Kyoji's a flyweight. He's a small flyweight. He looks like a strawweight if there was a men's strawweight. But he was fighting Patchy at bantamweight. A small flyweight fighting a bantamweight. And Patchy's not even able to finish him. They go to a competitive decision, right? So there you go. Kyoji. Yeah, that's part of Kyoji's greatness right there. Plus, this guy's very exciting and very dominant. This guy choked out Manel Cap. This guy knocked out Kaya Sakura. He beat Ian McCall. Ian McCall's Demetrius Johnson title defense. Right? He separated himself from the competition from the UFC back in the day. That's how he got the DJ title shot. So, oh, well, he's kind of like DJ because just like DJ, he's way better than these fools. And, yeah, I mean, this guy looks better than ever coming back to the UFC. I've always liked Kyoji Horiguchi. I've been paying attention to him. Even his fights in Ryzen, and I've always loved Kyoji Horiguchi. He's great. I love him, and I'm so glad he's back in the UFC. This guy's so exciting. Gets these finishes, and got wins over great comp. This guy's beating Manel Cap. Dude, imagine if him and Manel Cap had a rematch. That would be amazing. If he had a rematch with Manel Cap, come on. Who wouldn't want to see that? Who wouldn't want to see that? I love to see that. I love to see him fight like Asuma Bayev or Kai France or Manel Cap. I would like Manel Cap. Or, no, one of those 3. I don't know. And when that fight was done, I was like, Asuma Bayev, you're next, buddy. That was kind of my immediate reaction because, Asu was in my head most recently. But Kyoji Horiguchi will restore order to the flyweight division. We saw what he did to one of Habib's proteges, right? After Makhachev and Umar, Tagir's his best guy. His third best guy. No, Usman. That's right, 4th. It's definitely a step down from those other 3, for sure. But still, Tagir was ranked 11, and the division, and Kyoji cleaned up shop. He destroyed him. Destroyed him everywhere, man. He turned him into minced meat. Arguably a 10-8 in round 2. Then in round 3, dropped him. Then what did he do after that? He knocked him down. Drop and knock him down. I leave him separate. I call them separate things because when he knocks someone down, it gets counted as a knockdown. Dropping, they just drop and they pop up. But he did drop him early. And then the second time, that was a knockdown. Knocked him down bad. And then right after, dropping him like 30 seconds before that, something like that, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, he's got to get finished. It's got to be over. And he did it. He subbed him. And it was beautiful. Oh my gosh. It was like one of the most, performances like that just really put a smile on my face. Like, it was just so fun and dominant. Oh my gosh, this guy's amazing. I love that shit. And that slick rear naked that he got. Oh man. Number 9, Alexander the Great Volkanovski. My second favorite, I'll say. Yeah. I love Alexander the Great Volkanovski. He's amazing. He's amazing, man. He's one of the GOATs of the sport, and, I love him for that. I also love his personality, right? I love his channel, Cooking with Volk. I like cooking. He's amazing at cooking. What else? This guy, Volk. I don't know. He's, the first guy to break the quote-unquote 35 curse. Before him, no champion had no fighter below welterweight had become a champion won a championship fight over the age of 34, right? And Volk did it at 36 years of age. And then Pantoja broke the curse a second time, but Volk was the first to do it. He did it earlier this year against a really tough matchup in Diego Lopez. And Volk has got a lot of heart, gone through a lot of adversity in a lot of his fights, and he comes back, and he's, winning these later rounds. And, yeah, he lost to Makhachev, but look at him raining down shots on top, and at the end of round 5, always fighting Brian, always dominating. Then all of a sudden, oh, wow, the fight gets, the tables have turned, and Volk is about to get choked out. But no, he gets out, because he's Alexander the Great motherfucking Volkanovski, and that's what he does. He gets out of shit like that. And he beats your ass for it. Right? He puts belt to ass to people. And he beats Max Holloway 3 fucking times because he can. Because he's that good. Because he's got the greatest fight IQ of all time. And it's amazing to watch him work in the octagon every single time. And he's very entertaining. People underrate his entertainment. Right? And yeah, maybe he doesn't have a lot of power, but he still finishes guys because his accuracy and his IQ and his finishing instinct is really good. And he sees those opportunities. I love Volk. He's great. Personality's great. I feel like, it's not it's not it's a Volk interview, I need to see it. But when you do watch a Volk interview, you're I like this guy, he's chill. Volk's a guy you'd love to hang out with. Come on. Imagine camping in the woods. Dude, imagine you're camping in the woods and you got Volkanovski and Bryce Mitchell. Amazing. Oh, Bryce is definitely a top 30 favorite fighter of mine for sure. Maybe he cracked the top 25. I love Bryce Mitchell. He's great. He's dumb, but who cares? He's dumb, but he I think people misinterpret what he says, and sometimes he doesn't understand that he needs to phrase things in a different way. He's dumb to realize it, but dude's got good intentions. I like Bryce. Anyways, I love Volk. You know who I also love? I love prospects. I love entertaining prospects. As you see him with the Orabais, the Torreses, I wouldn't necessarily call Becky's a prospect, but those guys, right? I love prospects. But you also got to understand, not only do I love prospects, I love guys that I look at them and I'm like, I think he's a future champ. Or he could be. I think that Stepan Ribovics has a chance of being a future champ. It's very, it's a very bold statement to make about a guy who's unranked, man. But I see it. And he was robbed against Haskrat. I'll say it again. He was robbed against Haskrat. This guy did great against Brenner. He did great against a better version of Zell Huber. Look, the Zellhuber that we got in the Michael Johnson fight, that's different. Eric Nixick ruined him. He ruined him. He turned him into a guy who just body kick. What did you like? He massacred my poor boy's Zellhuber's entire game. Eric Nixick, from one of the best coaches in the game to one of the worst, just giving crap advice to the fighters, making them hesitant. Yeah, it's fighting, making them hesitant. Yeah. I don't like that. Esteban is anything but hesitant. Esteban puts on barn burners every single time. You see an Esteban Rovic fight, you're like, oh, that's the fight of the night. Doesn't matter what else happened, that's the fight of the night. Like, I'm pretty sure he's got multiple fight of the nights in a row, except like the Hascrat fight. But I mean, the Zellhuber, didn't that win fight of the year? The Zellhuber fight last year? And I mean, he had an amazing fight with Brenner this year. I mean, I love Ribovics, man. And I'd love to see Ribovics against. Imagine him against Manuel Torres. Whew, that would be amazing. I would love that. And then winner gets to fuck up Michael Chandler. Winner gets to fuck up Michael Chandler. Or you can make Rubovics fight Ignacio Baja-Bumdez, I guess, but who cares about Baja-Bumdez? No one, right? Except Jalen Turner. He probably cares about him. But Ribovics also kind of reminds me of my boy Peter Yan. He really does. He reminds me of Peter Yan with a little more kicks. Like a Peter Yan, but bigger with a little more kicks. You know, he's got really good combinations. I like guys with long combinations. It's really fun to see, the skill level and the technique and the timing and shot placement that it takes to be able to be successful with that sort of thing. And the accuracy and all that. And, Ribovics, he's got that stuff. And, he's really good to watch. He's very high level, very skilled, lots of potential. There's a belt. There might be a belt in his future, man. There might be a belt in his future. I love Ribovics. He's my 8th favorite fighter in the UFC currently. I'm rooting for him hard. Number 7. Speaking of gold belts in their future, Joshua Van. For me, he's a lock to be a future champ. I think he's getting choked out by Pantoja in round 3. Right? But, he's 23 years old. This kid's 23 years old, dude. Look at the improvements he has. I love fighters that make improvements. This guy comes in 2023. I've been a fan of this guy since his first fight in the UFC. This guy comes in the UFC at 2023, right? We see him fight, and me and a lot of other fans are like, oh, who the fuck is this kid? It's like 21 years old in the UFC. Okay, like not 9-2 or like 8-2 or whatever he was when he came in, right? Like, oh, that was fun. Oh, and then 295 comes along. Oh, that was really fun. I like this kid. And he fights again. And then he gets knocked out by Charles Johnson, and then everyone's like, "No, my boy." But then this guy, he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he beats Ray Tesura, right, or whatever the fuck that dude's name is. That was great. Wasn't a single scratch on him afterwards because Van's just that goated, right? One of the best boxers in the UFC. Very good defensive work. He's got like a significant strike record for a 3-rounder against Royval. Yeah, he's also statistically the second highest output fighter in UFC history, next to Max Holloway only. Right. And another thing, it's like, oh yeah, man, El Cap, you think you are the only one who could style on Bruno Silva? No, I'm gonna do it better. I'm a guy that people think I have pillow hands. But my accuracy is way fucking better than yours. My shots are way better than yours. I'm going to drop this fucking guy 3 times. I'm going to drop Bruno Silva 3 times, yeah. It took you 3 rounds? Okay. It took me 1. Right, it was round 1, right? I don't want to sound stupid. I'm not going to go all the way over to Tapology. Didn't he knock out Bruno Silva in round 1, or was it round 2? Talking about Van. I'm pretty sure Cap did it in round 3. I might be wrong. I don't care. Anyways, I love Joshua Van. I see a title picture in his future. I see a title in his future, Really looking forward to the Pantoja fight. Even though I think he loses, I think it'll be lots of fun. I think this guy has some of the most eye-pleasing and eye-catching striking in the UFC right now. The fight with Rival was probably my favorite fight of the year. That and with the Cannonier fight. Yeah. In terms of competitive fights. Non-competitive fights, that Kyoju one was nice. Number 6, CP. We all love CP. Look at this guy. Look at him smiling. Oh yeah, Leon, you're gonna smudge me for 2 rounds? You're gonna smudge me this round? Okay. You're gonna be laying flat on your back in the next. He knew it. Carlos knew it. Carlos knows what he's doing. Is that okay? I'm probably not gonna get out of this. I realize that. I tried to. I'm not gonna be able to. I don't care. You're not doing damage. You're not gonna, because you're Leon freaking Edwards. CP, I love CP. I think he's gonna be talented for titles in the future, that's for sure. This dude just knocked out Leon Edwards. It was crazy. It was amazing. I predicted it. But it was amazing to actually see it come to fruition. It's like I predicted, he's going to KO in round 2 after getting smudged in round 1. And then he does it, and it's like, oh, yeah, it actually happened. Jeez. It's like I predicted it, but, for it actually to be a reality, Leon looks just like Usman did, And this guy's so good. This guy, Pratas, the best, KO artist that welterweight has ever seen. No debate about it. No two ways about it. The best KO artist welterweights ever had. And will have for a while now. He'll probably hold that title for quite a bit, but every single one of his fights in the UFC ended in a KO. Except the one that he lost, and he almost got a KO in round 5. He did. And he's, looked better since then and looked crispier since the Gary fight. I still think Gary will beat him because I think that Gary is a future champ. But that's not me saying he beats the current champ. No, Makhachev beats him. I'm just saying when Makhachev leaves, I think Gary will become the champ. But yeah, anyways. Prates, I love Prates. He's such a great, exciting finisher. Making the funny faces and stuff. He's kind of cocky. He's got I think he's got the best, persona of the fighting nerds. Because I don't necessarily think they put on a persona, but I think they've trained a lot together, and I feel like they beat the shit out of each other all the time, and they've all just got some CTE, and they're all just naturally really goofy people. Or at least the main 4. And I feel like Kaio kind of forces it, but I feel like Carlos is, Carlos Prates is pretty legit, pretty genuine. He's a lot of fun. And the thing is, he knows how good he is. Look at him here. It's just great. It's great watching him fight. I love him. I look forward to seeing this guy fight. I don't really care who. I'd like to see him fight Michael Morales, but man, I love Carlos Prates. He's great. Such a great finisher. Such a fun fighter. Speaking of fun fighters and great finishers, Diego Lopez. Look what he did to my boy Gene Silva. That's why I use this picture, because it's it's showing it's a nice shot for Diego, right? Because he's got the cowboy hat going on. And the UFC Noche shorts are nice, and they look good on him, the black ones especially. And then you see, it's he looks, clean, There is marks on him, but, from with the lighting and zoomed out, it's there's not a mark on him. And then the guy next to him, just shaking the hand of the guy he just beat the shit out of. This guy is just completely bloodied up. Looks like someone ran over his face. Yeah, that fight was absolutely spectacular, and that spinning elbow was insane. Diego's such a vicious fighter. He's so vicious, such a violent finisher. And he's also got them hidden beefs, too, with Yair Rodriguez. And, I like Diego's personality. He's really fun on the mic, really fun in his fights, of course. Always improving. I love that. I think he's a guaranteed future champ, man. This is one, like, I genuinely think, like, he's a lock. He is a future champ. We will become champion. We are Diego Lopez. I love Diego Lopez. Best cowboy hat in the UFC. As, one of the most vicious contenders in the UFC. Most vicious contender at featherweight for sure. Most vicious fighter at featherweight that I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah. Yeah, I love vicious guys like this. I love guys that give me ooh and ah moments. There's lots of ooh and ah moments in Diego Lopez fights. Yeah, he's great. Plus the mullet. It looks stupid, but it adds to his his flair, his own personal flair. Number 4 is Makhachev. He was my number 1, but I saw Meguru's video, and then Meguru, he brings out receipts, man. He doesn't just say, oh, this guy cheated or whatever. If he's in a video, and the video's about that, like, you're not just gonna see his face like you do in the live streams. No, he's pulling out all the receipts. He's pulling out the videos. He's pulling out pictures from parts of the fight. And, dissecting it and really showing you what's going on and then giving his personal input. But at first, before he gives his personal input, he's telling you how it is. And he's showing you where he's getting his information from as he's, like, informing you further of what he knows and what he thinks as he's analyzing it himself. And then he adds his takes, which I think is how it should be done. If you're gonna if you're gonna have a bias, you do it that way. You do the way Meguru does. He's really good at covering news in MMA. He's the best at it. No debate. I'm serious because he goes into so much detail. You get the full story. But anyways, yeah, and you were showing stuff from Islam Makhachev cheating in the Charles fight and in the first Volk fight and some fights earlier on in his career, I think in the Arman fight as well. And man, like, glove grabbing and cage grabbing, obviously illegal, and you shouldn't be doing that in championship fights. It's very annoying to see. I don't like it. I still love Makhachev. He's still one of my favorites, but that definitely bumped him down for me. Just the cheating. I'm not a big fan of cheaters, so that left a bad taste in my mouth for a little bit. And if I made this a few days ago, Makhachev would be lower. Makhachev would be down at like number 7 or 8. But, I thought it through. He hasn't done it that much, I guess. I don't want to be making excuses. But, anyways, I was talking about what I like about Makhachev's personality. Probably my favorite personality in the UFC. I love his style of humor. It's my style of humor. It's great. I love his humor. I laugh out a lot of what he says. There's an Islam Makhachev interview. You damn well know I'm tuning in. Because he's always got something good to say. And even, I remember the Instagram live that he made a couple weeks ago before the JDM fight. He was just fishing. He was fishing, but then there was, like, 2 dudes in the background at a random, like, 2 of his, like Dagestani guys. Like, one had the Dagestan, and then one of the dudes had a dude's feet, and the other guy had the dude's arms. And then they were swinging the guy, so the 2 Dagestanis were swinging another Dagestani. And we're, like, I don't know, threatening to, like, throw him over into the water. But I didn't know what happened because I just got to the MMA gym, to my gym. And so I had to turn the video off, but I was like, what the fuck was that? What was I just watching? And the whole time they were all speaking in Russian. Even though at one time Makhachev said, brother, Usman, English, please. And then Makhachev himself continued to speak Russian. The only time he spoke English was telling someone else to speak English. Even though he wasn't speaking English. That was the only lick of English that anyone spoke. And they were just laughing while looking at the chat. Even though no one was saying anything. So I said some stuff. I was like, salam alaikum, brother, and stuff like that. And that's about it. And anyways, yeah, Makhachev's great. I love his fight style. Last fight, was boring, but man, Makhachev's the goat of the sport. He just is. Just is. And that's something that I like. I like that he's the goat of the sport, man. Not one can I say. what can I say? I don't always like the record breakers, but Manches again that I do like. Really love his personality. I really love his fight style. He's good everywhere. He's a really smart fighter. He makes adjustments in his fights and does all this cool shit. And he's so impressive. And he's so good. He's finishing these elite guys, and in like such impressive fashion. And then I'm like, oh, I gotta do this in the gym. Like, man, Makhachev motivated me to make the Darce choke like one of my go-tos. Used to not do a Darce choke. Then I started, then I saw the freaking, the Dustin fight. Then I was like, oh, wow. I need to start doing that in the gym. I need to try it out. Then again, the Moicano fight, and there was a better angle on it for the camera to see what he was doing. And I think he almost did it better, like the choke in the Moicano fight. And the way he positioned himself. That's why he was able to get it so damn quick. But anyways, yeah, I love Makhachev. He's great. He's the GOAT. And I'm glad he's the GOAT. I'm glad that this is the guy that is the representative of the best in our sport. I love his son Makhachev. I hope we get to see him fight a couple more times. And then, we can ride off into the sunset. And then he'll ride off on my list because he won't be active anymore, a UFC fighter anymore. But for now, he's number 4 on my list. Number 3, Jack Della Maddalena. It was rough to see him lose like that. It was rough to see him get smudged and see him demoralized in round 5. But the thing is, I do think that Makhachev broke a rib. But that's not me giving an excuse to JDM. It's actually me giving credit to Makhachev because Makhachev broke a rib. It's not JDM broke a rib before the fight. No, Makhachev broke the rib in round 1 when he was doing that body lock. That's Makhachev doing damage in the fight. You don't think Makhachev did damage in the fight? He broke his rib. He broke Jack's rib. He messed up his calf. And he wasn't letting JDM do anything. And he was blitzing him with boxing combos as well, and then immediately going for takedowns. Anyways, enough analyzing one Makhachev's greatness. I'm on JDM. I like JDM more. I love JDM, man. I love his style. I love how chill he is, how nonchalant he is. I'm just gonna go out there and that's how JDM is, man. I don't really think that seeing Son. Like, come on, man. How can you not love this guy? He's got such a fun fight style. One of my favorite fighters to emulate in the gym. I love how he fights. I love how he throws his combos. I like to throw my combos similar way that he throws his combos. And he's a lot of fun to watch. And I just really like him as a fighter. And I'm rooting for him in every single fight, man. He's my favorite welterweight, man. One of my favorite fighters, and yeah, I love JDM. There's nothing but the best for the guy, both in life of course, but whatever. That's cringe in the cage, man. I love seeing him fuck up guys in the cage. The Bilal fight was amazing to see. I love that. I love what he was doing in that fight, just piecing him up.
Can you use the bathroom before I shower?
No, I'm good. Just seeing him, do that to Bilal and almost get that finish in round 5. That was really great to see. Yeah. I can't think of anything else to say. He's also one of those guys where it's like, I just naturally just really like him. He's a likable guy to me. And same with his fight style. It's like, I just like the way he does things. And it's appealing to my eyeballs. Number 2, Benoit Saint-Denis. And this guy, dude, this might be the first time I fell in love with the fighting style of a man. I was like, oh my gosh, this fight style, I fucking love it. This guy, Benoit Saint-Denis, is amazing. And, guys at the gym will be like, oh, he's going to lose. He's going to lose against this guy. He's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, he's going to beat everyone, man. He's gonna beat DP, I swear, guys, come on. And, he lost to DP, and that was so rough. It was so rough seeing him lose to Dustin Poirier like that. Oh, that sucked. It really sucked. for me as a Benoit fan. Because he almost did it in round 1. And then I was like, no, Benoit, don't box with him, Benoit. Don't box with him, no. But, yeah, man, I love Benoit. The Moicano fight was rough. But then since then, Kyle Prepelec, he cleaned up shop against him. He turned, Mauricio Ruffi. Okay, before I continue, I had picked Benoit to win every single fight he's been in for the past couple of years since I've been paying attention to him. Right? And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the Ruffy fight. Ruffy was a sizable favorite. He was a big favorite, right? Wasn't he minus 300, something like that, right? I didn't see why. I was like, man, people are overrating this Huffy guy. He's not Benoit's level in the grappling. He's not his level on the ground. I think Benoit's gonna impose his will. I think he's gonna do better on the feet than normal, and I think he's gonna sub him in round 2. This guy's getting choked up, man. And man, I'm not gonna lie. For that fight, that was a Paris card. I learned French. I took 30 minutes. Talking with ChatGPT, like learning phrases in French. And I spoke French for the whole fight. And I was saying weird shit in French. I was like saying throw a potato in his face, and I don't remember the other stuff. Or yeah, just all I remember is like the throw a potato in his face, and then Ali's, which just means let's go. But I was like Ali's, Benoit, Ali's. And, it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching Benoit in that fight and in every fight. And seeing him get that KO over Manil the other weekend, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Man, taking the time to learn a teeny bit of French was worth it. It made it so much more fun in the Ruffy fight and in the Benil fight. But I didn't really need to use it for the Benil fight. All I said was throw a potato in his face, because that's the only one I remember from last time. And Ali's, because I was like, throw a potato on his face, Benoit. And then he threw a potato on his face. I was like, le petit. I know that's not how you say it, but it's something like that. And, Benil came crashing down to the canvas, and I was like, Ali's, let's fucking go, Benoit. I also love to say Benoit's name. And, dude, how can you not love this guy? From fucking former French Special Forces, counter-terror, he worked in counter-terrorism operations, dude. He's a badass. He's a real killer. Served his country. It's dope shit. His nickname's the God of War, It's badass, man. He's, yeah, I love Benoit. But there's only one fighter that I love to watch more than Benoit Saint-Denis. This guy is the most exciting fighter of all time. This guy has one of my favorite mentalities in a fighter that I've seen. And that fighter is Yuri Prochazka. Let's go for that. Let's go for that. How can you not love Yuri fights, man? How can you not love Yuri? That Glover Teixeira fight, come on. It's one of the best fights. One of the best fights I've ever seen, man. That Glover Teixeira fight, amazing. That KO over Dominic Reyes, vicious, brutal. Khalil Roundtree gets beat up for 2 rounds, but comes back because his cardio's insane and just throws. And he throws, and he throws, and he throws, and he throws. Then he throws the most vicious 1-2-3 that this world has ever seen in MMA. Boom, boom. And Khalil came crashing down and he died, right? Making Jamal Hill do this stanky leg and start break dancing across the octagon until the ref pulled him off. Man. The build up to the Alex Pereira fights, the face offs with Alex Pereira. Man, I just love everything about Yuri. He's the most exciting fighter ever. I love watching him fight. The strike. As Bilal says, the grab. I'm gonna beat him the strike, the grappling, the wrestling. Right? Yuri's got it all. He's got the grappling. He submitted Glover to Sharon, man. Come on. You know, he knocked out Jamal Hill. He knocked out Khalil Roundtree. He knocked out Dominic Reyes. He knocked out Volkan Oezdemir, right? He knocked out Alexander Rakic. You know, he's built this crazy resume, and no one knows how to come back like Yuri. No one knows how to get a round 3 KO like Yuri. No one knows how to, you know, be as exciting as Yuri. And, like, he's able to be exciting, but at the same time, like, be really, really good. He's exciting, and he throws, like, some shit that looks a little weird, but he throws it in a way that works for him, in a way that is still really good, and he gets better. He gets better. He, like, in his last couple of fights, his defense looked better than ever. Right? I don't know what happened in a trilogy with Pereira. No, I'm just kidding. I won't go that far. But if you're not gonna put this guy out, you're done. You're done. His finishing potential is too great. His heart is immeasurable. In the cage, this guy wants it more than anyone. If you beat him, he's gonna lock himself in a cabin. Insane discipline. And people might be like, "Oh, that's extreme, man." No, it works for him. It works for him. It works for him. So why do you care? Because I think it's cool. I think it's badass. It's ultimate discipline. Because you're saying that's extreme. Yeah, that just proves that you're not disciplined, and you don't have the open mind to see how something like that can work. You know why? Because you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it, which proves it takes discipline. You think it's extreme because you're a pussy. He's not a pussy. Of course he's not. He's Yuri freaking Prohashka. He's the most not pussy man on the planet. He's fucking amazing. You know, how is he not one of your favorite fighters? Yuri's just the best. He's just the best, man. You know, did you see that guy, like, who got on Instagram? He got, like, kicked out of the bar. Thought he got kicked out of the bar because Yuri Prohashka's a fucking goat. He's a fucking goat. I don't even care that I got kicked out. And he, like, just tore up his shirt. He was in the parking lot screaming. Yuri's comeback KO over Roundtree. Man, I had a crazy experience during that Roundtree KO, too. I was cooking dinner, man. I was rushing throughout the kitchen. It was during, like, the most chaotic part of making making the dinner, because I had this on and I had this on, like everything was happening. You know, all the prep was done. Like if I was it would have been, you know, let's cut if I was watching the fight and I was just like prepping and I was, you know, cutting up the onions and stuff. But no, I was doing this. I was cooking this. I was cooking that. I was putting this in the air fryer. I was putting that in the oven. I was doing all the stuff, and like while that fight was going on, I had to make sure that that the blood wasn't leaking out of this shit, and it was just incredible. One of the most chaotic experience ever watching a fight, but it was amazing. But after that, I can confidently say I'm never going to be watching a UFC fight while simultaneously cooking. I'd rather be able to only pay attention to the fight when I'm watching fights, and be able to have all my focus on cooking when I'm cooking. So I can have other stuff going on in the background when I'm cooking, but my eyes need to be on the cooking, right? When I'm watching fights, I need to be laser focused on the fights. So yeah, but you know, I promised to cook dinner for my family that night, so I had to do both. It was fine. Look at this guy though. Look at this guy, Yuri. Look at this crazy picture. I'd never seen this picture before. Yesterday, when I found it on Google, I was like, Yuri Prohashka pictures. I was looking for Yuri Prohashka pictures, and I found the waterfall one. Look at that. Look at this crazy guy. I'm coming. Like, come on. I mean, it gives that vibes because it's a different setting, but. I mean, he looks crazy, and it looks like he's yelling. And when you think of Yuri Prohashka yelling, of course you think of him, like, going, ah, in the snow. But you also think of the I'm Coming video. Yeah, and Yuri also just has a crazy good mentality. Crazy mentality, crazy amount of discipline. This guy did a 1-2-3 combination for 24 hours straight. For 24 hours straight. This guy's crazy. This guy's got the best broken English in the game. Well, it's between him and Machev. Their personalities are great. They're both funny for different reasons. Machev is intentionally funny. Yuri Prohashka is just... He's just funny because, like, his personality is just fucking hilarious. But he also is intentionally funny sometimes. But no, he's great. You know, I'm going to take some guys from my village. You'll go to the hotel and I will show them some things. You know, the way he goes, let's go for that. Look, you know, I like a lot of his mannerisms and a lot of the things he does. And he's just a very engaging person. You know, when he's talking and stuff, I'm just very engaged. When I see him in an interview and stuff, so I'm very engaged. I know what he's saying. He's a very intelligent guy. You know, he's in university, right? He's studying to be, I don't remember, a teacher? A professor? Yeah. Or a doctor. Some sort of professor or a doctor, I believe. You can watch the Mighty Cast. He talked all about it. That's one of my favorite Yuri interviews, was when he was on the podcast with Mighty Mouse. Which makes sense. You know, it's a solid podcast. Where Mighty Mouse just kind of lets the fighters talk about whatever. And Mighty Mouse is definitely, he's not really that good of an interviewer, but like when it goes off track is when it's fun. And it goes off track all the time. So they're fun interviews. Especially the Yuri ones, probably my favorite. That one, and of course the Guru ones and the Mighty Guru ones are probably the best, but I mean, now the Mighty Guru is over. Might do a video on that, but I don't feel like much needs to be said. People just need to not hate on Guru or Mighty Mouse. They both have good reasons for... I mean, Guru doesn't want to be a sellout. Fair. Mighty doesn't want to risk his friendships with fighters that he trains with on a regular basis. Fair. But at the same time, Guru did say he'll tone it down a little bit because he does understand that there are some times where, you know, he doesn't need to attack a whole group of people. He can just say a specific thing about a specific person and why he doesn't like the thing that they're doing. You know, he doesn't always need to just get bigoted just immediately and, you know, just risk getting arrested by the UK government because they don't really have freedom of speech from what he says. Anyways, yeah, Yuri Prohashka is my favorite fighter. These are my top 20 favorite fighters. I don't know how long this video is going to be. Hope it's not too long. If it's longer than 40 minutes, I'll probably cut it down. Probably not. I don't like editing my videos because I don't like dragging my finger across the phone on an app. I don't know why. It's very annoying to me for some reason, even though it's a very simple thing to do. I feel like there's something else I wanted to say. Like, there's something I said in my last video that, like, it was kind of stupid, but it added some, I don't know, genuineness to it. That, like, I feel like viewers would like. Just because it was, like, genuine, but, like, kind of funny and stupid. But not corny. I just don't remember what it was. Yeah, this video's done, though, now. Yeah. Tell me who your favorite fighters are in the comments. Yeah. And also, give me ideas for, like, polls. You can give me ideas for videos, but also polls. I want to make more polls. Maybe I can ask you who you like more, this guy, that guy. Who would win between this guy and this guy? Who who's better at this martial arts discipline, this guy or that guy? Stuff like that, right? And all sorts of stuff. You know, like I even did one week ago where it's who's got the ugliest nose in combat sports? Mike Perry or Jack Della Maddalena? Right, but I want to do more of those. Polls are fun. And give me fun video ideas too. See ya later.